Hi there, welcome to the Sparkle Experience Show. So, Jeremy Gaul, our co host, you want to say hi?
Hello, if you can hear me.
DK Warinner, our special guest. Welcome to the Sparkle Experience Show. I am so excited to have you here for the 13th episode. And we're here to talk about how do you get through overwhelm, procrastination, and you're going to be teaching us three things, the viewers on the show today. I'm really excited to have you here, and I was wondering if you would give us a quick intro to who you are, what you're about, and share some of that with us.
Absolutely, Michele. Thanks so much for having me on the Sparkle Experience show here. And Jeremy, also nice to see you as well. So great to be here. I'll just start with a brief introduction to my own story, just to orient folks, because I'm the founder of Center of Calmness, but I didn't come to that place from a traditional yoga type background or a deep retreat out to the Far East or something like that necessarily. I actually came from corporate America. I was trained there as an engineer and worked my way through management. And I was humming along and had a nice career going, and it was 4 years into what was going to be a very long career with a particular multinational corporation when I took a promotional assignment and found myself actually feeling quite threatened by the place that I found myself in. It was a new facility, a new industry, and it was just something about that particular mesh that just the gears were not meshing, right? And for whatever reason, and it just to illustrate how that felt, I walked up to a long hallway into the lobby, met my new boss, who actually did not even return my handshake and just turned and he was kind of like, follow me if you want, right? And I know that that from a corporate mannerism perspective, that's pretty rude, but at the same time, it was an energetic indicator of what I was walking into, which I found to be pretty much like the lion's den, right? So my first experience in what I would consider a threatening place, a place that was not supportive. And I had a chance to confront a lot of my demons in the next couple of years there, both from the pressures of that group as well as anxieties that I had been carrying since childhood and had suppressed, and all that stuff came to the front. And I found myself really, debating, is this survivable? Am I going to make it through? But at the same time, I also found a solution. I walked into the ocean and found a place and a way to completely eliminate that very, very high level of stress that I found myself sitting under. And once I had that breakthrough, from there I was able to move forward. I was able to, if you will, to restore my career. I made a few moves after that, of course. And even while staying within corporate America, I also developed a system to help others who might find themselves in a similar situation. And that's where I founded the Center of Calmness and worked with several clients to eliminate very deep panic levels of anxiety in their life experience, and also worked with a couple of groups and trained them in techniques to create a higher level of success and really level up. And so that's my mission now in life. I still have a corporate assignment, and so I carry my techniques into the office as well as on Zoom and elsewhere for coaching. And I'm really, in a way, it might look like I'm straddling two worlds, but really it's the same life. And I offer the same calmness everywhere I go.
That's awesome, DK, because I come from the corporate world as well, and very often we have this mask and we go through heck. It's really something where I found too, I had to do my own soul searching early in my career as a career mom. And it's something that the energy side of things, when we're starting out, I don't want to age myself, but I have three grown adult children. When we're starting out, anything that's woo-woo, it's like, stay away from me.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, definitely.
It's like, it's not, I can't see it, I can't touch it, therefore it doesn't exist.
Yeah, if we can't measure it, it's potentially fake. It's misleading. Maybe it's bias. Who knows? There's lots of different names for it. Yeah, and in the corporate world, it's a very small box, right? It's got to be crispy. It's got to be right now. It's got to be money motivated. And in a way, I think a lot of the emotions and feelings of the situation are generally ignored in the context of wanting to get hardcore results, which some folks align well with, and those that might find their energy wavelength is not completely compatible, I have a rough time of it.
Yeah, so the thing is, uh, I was thinking that maybe you could explain a little bit about what it is. Like I bring a mix of that to the table, right? With the business coaching I do, as well as the work the sparkle, as I call it, the sparkle work that I do. And I was wondering if you could share kind of what that your experience was with that.
With Sparkle specifically?
Yeah, before we get into what you have to share with our viewers tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, what the one of the big benefits of the journey that I've found myself on is that I've gained some sensitivity to energy, and of course, it starts out with the energy that I find within, right? So I can pretty easily sense when I'm getting agitated. It happens very quickly, and then I'm able to address it, which is not something I could do in the past, right? I would say in earlier years that agitation would have to build up and might even have to blow up and express some of that and vent before I would look back and realize, wow, that's not really me. What's wrong? But these days, what I find through my practice is that before anything sort of obvious that would come out would manifest itself, I'm already able to feel the shifts inside. So from that point of view, then when you introduced Michele Sparkle to me and took me through a couple of Sparkle experiences, it was kind of like feeling, the tingle of a starfall, if you will, right? And I couldn't explain it. It was just you and me sitting in the room, right? I couldn't see anything, but I could feel the energy shifting, right? And there was a certain clarity that came to it, right? Even though I had some thoughts, swirling through my head, somehow I was able to rise above those and find this clear space. And really, the biggest outcome that I found from Sparkle, Michele, was that once we finished the session, I felt better. I felt lighter. I felt energized, and I really can't explain how it worked.
Well, it's something I don't know, Jeremy. What do you have to say about it? Because you've got sparkle. You're very techie too, as well. Very very analytical. I mean, yeah, from your standpoint, how would you describe that?
How would I describe Sparkle?
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, well, Sparkle is more like bringing the clarity back to what you're focusing on. Something like you have fuzziness, the distraction, the other types of energy that are basically causing you trouble gets cleared away, and it's, I guess, like having an energy shower, right? Everything gets cleaned away.
That's an interesting way of saying it. But so the thing is now, why is it that you feel from the seat you are as an engineer, as a project, I think you're a project manager as well. Why is it that this calmness, how does overwhelm and calmness affect people's, professionals, CEOs, their ability to perform? What is your take on that?
Well, if to me the best way to go through that is to actually take ourselves through a little experience, right? Now, if we could put ourselves in the place where someone is actually overwhelmed. So let's just go into their office, and perhaps they have a meeting coming up. It's a big board meeting. There's going to be 15 people there. The conference room is ready. It's crisp. The note taker is present. The CEO is sitting there waiting, tapping the pen on, and the individual's not even there yet, right? They're in their office and they're wondering, how am I going to get through this meeting, right? They're ready, but at the same time, they're thinking about things at home. They're thinking about their family. They're thinking about things coming up. They're thinking about the other 4 projects and any number of questions the CEO might ask the individual, right? Not to mention that they're due to deliver a 15-minute report that better be good or else, right? Just if we just put ourselves in the place of that person, how are they feeling, right? Where is the energy coming from? Can you feel and experience the butterflies? Is the mind clear, or is it very cloudy? Is there a lot of agitation? Yeah, the answer is yes to all of that. The heart's palpitating. Everything is in high alert, right? So that's
Hands are getting sweaty, maybe.
exactly. So if your hands are sweating a little bit right now, you're actually feeling it with me, which was the point. Now imagine Of course, I don't want to say that feeling that level of overwhelm was not natural, because it definitely is natural to feel this, right? It's just a human response to, okay, this meeting is serious. This is going to be impactful and important. And if I don't do well, then there could be repercussions, there could be consequences. And so it's completely natural and normal. And that's really the first step to overcoming the overwhelm, is just to accept it and understand that it's just a part of being a human being, right? And taking, if you will, taking the job seriously that is in front, right? And taking life seriously as well. But then from that point, imagine just simply taking those, if you will, sweaty palms, and suddenly just manifesting a little bit cooler, a little bit cooler, a little bit cooler. The heart's starting to slow down a little bit. The breath's getting deeper, and the mind is starting to clear, right? And we're actually creating a bit of calmness in this person. Nothing else changed, right? The room is still there. The family's still there. The projects are still underway. All of whatever brought that person to the place of overwhelm is still present, but yet this person is shifting their orientation, right? And they're choosing, and really that's the key, is they're choosing a place of calm. And even as I pause, I'm just kind of letting that calmness flow. And you can almost envision that same person really acting internally as if they're standing right in front of the ocean. Perhaps they're wading in and just enjoying a nice ray of sunshine, right? Just a few seconds before they walk into that boardroom and give their presentation. And there's really no difference with that person choosing the orientation of being super stressed out and overwhelmed, or choosing the orientation of, hey, I'm at calm and at peace, just as if I was at the ocean, right? That choice is that easy to make. And with practice, it's possible to not only make that choice, but to feel that choice, right? To feel it in your mind, right? To feel calm in your mind, like you do when you're in the middle of a sparkle, right?
Mm-hmm,
And you can also feel it in your heart, because really that person is not likely going to that boardroom just to do something they're not aligned with. They're actually there to fulfill their purpose. So suddenly their heart becomes aligned with their mind, and it is also calm. Still energized, right? Still excited, but the energy is not chaotic. It's calm and aligned, right? And then also the energy of the gut comes into play. And this is a key, and really what underlies and produces the foundation for the Center of Calmness is alignment of all three of those, if you will, those neural centers, right? The mind, which is kind of obviously where we've got a lot of neuron activity in the brain, right? The heart, which has several tens of thousands of neurons in and of itself, actually much more powerful than the brain. And then also the gut, right, which is where we tend to carry our anxieties, our accumulated stress, right? And aligning all three of these and bringing that ocean experience and bringing that place of calmness allows the overwhelm to just pass. Right. So imagine going into the meeting feeling overwhelmed and having to talk super fast and finding a way to stay ahead of these flames that are just perceived, right? The perceived threat, if you will. Or just coming in and saying, hey, I'm just here, I'm at peace. All three of my neural centers are fully aligned, and I actually feel good.
mm-hmm. That is powerful.
I really feel good, right?
Yeah, that's really powerful.
Yeah.
As performance in my experience is a lot it's a lot higher when it comes from that centeredness, that alignment with self,
Exactly.
and it's interesting how you did that. It's very interesting, because I could feel that calmness coming. I don't know if you felt that too, Jeremy.
Right.
I mean, Jeremy's clients, they get it from the system thing, the IT stress and the overwhelm of, just getting frazzled because they don't understand their technology. So,
Right.
Definitely. Yeah. And I can see tons of benefit with a calm, but I think in the IT space, it's more like flow, right?
mhm.
Where when the data is flowing in the right direction and it's driving you toward the result that you want, and all the technology is working as you wish it would, then yeah, that's calmness.
That's right. So the three things you are going to teach us tonight.
Well, actually, we just covered the first one, right?
Good.
First, I just call it simply calmness, right?
Calmness.
It is an internal state. It is a mind space. It is an orientation, and it's
It's a
something that I
decision, isn't
choose.
it? It's a
Which really,
decision.
it's a decision, but it's also a response, right? And that's the part that we train. First the first, if you will, the first step of it is to choose. To choose to be calm. It's not as easy as it looks. A lot of individuals will hold tightly onto their stress and say, "Well, if I don't have my stress, I won't succeed. This is what got me here," but it won't get you there. And what's interesting about calmness is that it opens up the higher functions of the mind. Right there, every coach that I've worked with that has a lot more expertise than I do in these topics and have access to the if you will, the real woo-woo that's not normally found in the corporate world, they all say the calmness is the gate. Right? If you cannot carry your baggage, you don't get to take anything with you in that place where you really perform powerfully. Right? It can only just be you and nothing more. Right. So if we're bringing in all of our stresses and all of our worries and all of our anxieties and anger and stress and whatever else we might bring in, or even hopes and fears, right? Both positive and negative, all of those things do nothing but cloud what we're really there to do, and they cloud that intuitive presence, right? They cloud who we're actually there to project. So for me, I've just chosen calmness, right? And when I show up, folks at the office, even if they're not, really perceiving me as calm necessarily, because I didn't tell them that I'm choosing that orientation, but they notice, and it creates a shift. And I've been told several times amongst individuals that I don't talk about this much with, that they say, "Wow, this guy is so calm. The building could be burning and he'd still be calm."
So the thing though is to get to calmness, I think there's one thing that has to happen before even that becomes a state, and that is to be aware of self, and that's what I teach. How do you become aware of yourself first so that you can even make that choice or even see the decision is in front of you, whether or not you want to stay, frazzled and anxious and overwhelmed, or if you want to choose to find a way to get calm, to get zen, as I like to say it.
Yeah. So of course, what I would probably do is refer my clients to you so they could get sparkled. That's what I would do to start with. But what I found to be a very easy and natural approach to centering, within oneself is to simply apply a deep breathing technique where we activate the diaphragm, which is very unusual, especially in Western countries, right? Where somehow we've chosen that we got to breathe from the chest, and I don't know how we made that choice, but most of us did.
It's more breathe from the big Buddha. That's where you have your power.
Yes. And so we leverage that, right? We leverage the diaphragm and train the breath to come from the diaphragm, and so it's simply just to relax the lungs, move the diaphragm, and allow the air to come in and out. But then the piece of it where we gain the awareness isn't so much from that breath as much as it is to watch the breath and just allow the breath to inform, and then actually to take the next step after that, which is to stop controlling the breath and still watch the breath. Right. So now you can envision you've activated your diaphragm, you're breathing in and out from the diaphragm, and then you just gently leave it be. And let that breath continue as it naturally will, because we breathe naturally, right? And then ask this question, who's actually breathing right now? Because I'm not, right? My conscious mind is not breathing. And just in that inquiry, I found a great deal of self-awareness can be achieved. I wouldn't say quickly, but straightforwardly.
That is true, because really our parasympathetic system does everything for us. We breathe, our heart beats, there's all sorts of things happen without our even thinking or commanding or doing any of that. It just does. And that's the thing I like to talk about, is how do we actually command that part of us through the will, through the mind, and be CEO of ourselves to control it. So that's beautiful. We're running a little late. Is everybody okay with that?
What do you mean?
Fine. I'm completely calm.
Oh, 5:30. 5:30. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong time. We're on Pacific time. I'm looking at Mountain time. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
It's a little bit different. Okay, we're good. So, all right. That is a really good thing to be sharing, and there's a certain technique you share in your teaching, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And for folks that want to learn more about that, I suppose we'll talk at the end about how we can move forward and explore that a little deeper.
Right, because you have a special offer coming up at the end, isn't it?
That's right.
Okay, so stay tuned, guys.
However, I do want to mention that what I've already shared is plenty to get started with. For folks that actually take action on what we're talking about, it's possible to generate a shift in your mindset that you can produce and walk into the office or walk into your business or walk into a meeting with a client tomorrow and notice an immediate benefit.
And not have this thing going on and you're trembling inside, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I felt it
and
actually.
to be fair,
I
most
actually felt it.
oh, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. And just to be fair, most folks are not triggered and palpitating all the time, right? But these are techniques for those moments when things just seem out of hand and it's time to gain control and, as you mentioned, to really reassert oneself as a CEO of your own life.
Yeah, that's right. So the second one, second thing.
Yeah, and I wonder if I could just continue on with
Sure.
this boardroom meeting metaphor as a way to illustrate it. Most folks that I work with in particularly in the corporate space, but also entrepreneurs, will orient themselves in a very typical way to a meeting like the boardroom meeting, and that is, how is this meeting going to go, right? And they're thinking about, well, how will the CEO respond? How will the board of directors in the room respond? What kind of questions and side conversations will they have? What issues are they bringing to the meeting that I am as the presenter I'm not even aware of? And all kinds of questions that really lead me to a pretty simple conclusion, which is or actually, let me present it this way as a question. Where is the power in the room? Is it with the person, with the presenter, or is it with the audience, with those individuals, people of position, right? People of power, as we call it. And where is the power in that situation, right? For most, they would put the power in the room, and they're there to measure up, right? But what I offer is a technique to, if you will, flip the script on that, right? And what I call that is creative structure. And this is a technique that I've spent quite a bit of time with one of the coaches that I work with, learning and practicing, and found some tremendous results with. And that is to change the orientation of how is that meeting going to go, and rather than thinking of it as somewhat random, somewhat chaotic, somewhat I can't control these people and I don't know how they're going to react. Those are all true statements, right? We can't control them and we don't know how they're going to react. However, the power is in the design, and this is where my engineering background comes in, right? Is that meeting can be designed a certain way, right? And of course, the easy part of this is just to say, okay, how well do we know the participants? Mm-hmm. How well do we know our material? Are we ready to present? Is this really a topic that we have mastery of? And we can control the situation from the, if you will, the internalities of it, right? But we can also control the externalities, which is to produce an intention, an energetic intention. And as soon as I say the word energetic, then some folks are going to be like, "Oh, you're off the deep end."
Glazed over.
You're in the energy world, and you're going quantum and all that stuff. But it's really simple, and I think it does us a disservice to think of ourselves as simple, like biopumps, right? We're not just pure flesh and blood. It's not just a heart pumping a liquid through a bunch of veins and capillaries, and that makes a person, right? I think we can all agree on that. So what I'm talking about here, and I think what Michele, you've also been revealing through the Sparkle process, is that there is an energy that we know we have, right? Mm-hmm. And it's as simple as comparing a day or a meeting, let's just say an event, where we were really on our game, right? And everything worked out great, right? We got what we wanted, and all the folks loved it, right? We loved it. That experience was an event to remember, right? You compare that against an event that maybe didn't go so well. We weren't quite on the game, and we didn't feel right, and it didn't go right. The people there were, perhaps they were confused, disconnected. There's any number of negativities we could talk about, and just take those two situations and ask the question of what's the difference between them, right? And really, from the person's point of view, from the individual's point of view, the only difference is how they felt. right? And where does that come from, right? That is energy, right? And what I'm speaking of when it comes to creative structure, which is the second point that I'm offering here, is that we actually have control over that energy, how it is going to be, how we are going to be in the situation, right? So in the event, in that, in the case of that person walking into the boardroom, if they walk in saying, well, I've got material, I'm feeling calm because I've gone through the calmness meditation that we just covered here, but I'm really not sure how this is going to turn out. That is one energy, right? And that's going to leave the control with the room, and the room may love that presentation or they might hate it. But the other possibility is to really step forward into the outcome and say, what do I want to create? Why am I even here at this meeting, right? Why am I giving this presentation? Is it just because somebody told me to do it? Or do I have a purpose in it? Is there a reason, right? And to get and really embody and get into that reason of why am I really here doing this? And then once that understanding is achieved, then it's a matter of, again, making a choice. We made a choice for calmness, and now the choice is, what do I intend to create? And of course, like we said before, we can't control the other participants in the meeting, but we can control ourselves. And believe it or not, that intention, when it's very clear, when it's very well defined, and actually even further when it's communicated, to the group, it's amazing how much of a shift that generates, right? So just the simple act of creation. Okay, I'm going to a meeting, I'm presenting a certain bit of material, and I have an intention for the outcome. And here's what it is, right? Just showing up and starting the meeting with that will completely change the flow. Right, and even if there's somebody there who really is dead set against the path that is being presented, somehow they're not going to have as much power, because the power is now with the person, that they're there to accomplish a purpose. And even if that person ends up saying no, their experience will be radically different, right? Just from that choice, from that intention, from placing the intention to a specific outcome and defining it in detail, right? And the creative structure piece of it, right, is to both identify what that outcome is, and then identify where we are in relation to that outcome, and really to add a little bit more language in here just to make it clear. The outcome we want is the desired result. Maybe we want to win a contract, maybe we want to gain funding, or we want to get another 3 months to complete the project, or maybe we want to get access to some staff, right? Those are the desired outcomes, if you will, potentially. And then it's a matter of backing up to what's currently in place, right? Do we have those resources? Are we running short? Is the budget running dry? And getting a sense of where things are today and what our desired outcomes are, and essentially that creates a line of action, right? And then to complete the structure, now we're just simply asking the question: what's the next obvious action we need to take? And really, that's what's going to drive that meeting, right? Having all three of those in clear mind, being able to communicate what they are, and then simply either making the ask or presenting the case in a convincing manner to take that action and move forward, will get a surprising amount of buy-in. It'll change, even if the meeting does not go as planned. It'll change everything about it. So
But
that's
I think
creative structure.
this can be used not just in a meeting, a boardroom meeting, or any a department meeting. It can be used anywhere, actually. You
Exactly.
just change the envelope or the box it's in, right?
Exactly. It's simply 2 points and a direction and a choice, right? And the most important choice of all three of those is, where do we want to go? What do we want to achieve? And the clearer that piece of it is, the more likely we are to actually get there.
Very nice. Comments, Jeremy? Any thoughts yourself?
Not really. I mean, it. I don't know. I have a good way of putting it down, so it's hard to say. uh, applying what you say when you walk into a room or whatnot. I mean, yeah, I could see that. I don't have a good comment. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. But it's again putting yourself in the driver's seat instead of being at the mercy of everybody else, thinking they're controlling. If you're in the speaker speaker position, that's a very powerful position to be in. And, if you take control and predetermine where you want it to go, it's very powerful.
Mhm.
And what's
And I,
cool, what I love about this structure is it allows the person to really remain heart connected,
mm,
right? They're not
yes.
having to think and anticipate and make all the the potential scenarios and strategic moves in their mind
Hmm.
anymore, right? Because
Hmm.
they've already made their choice,
Hmm.
and it's just a matter of communicating and then being and living in that choice,
Hmm.
right? So in a way, it's a lot simpler and allows the power of the heart to come through into the message.
Right. So for whoever is listening, whether it's now or in the future, try it. It's there. It's proven. DK, you've proven it through your years in the roles you've played. Correct.
Absolutely. Yep. I found a lot of benefit going that way as opposed to I've also spent quite a bit of time in the alternative. So that's how I'm aware of overwhelm and also it's relative, which is procrastination, the temptation just to leave things go and let that stress level drop. Of course, as we know that doesn't really work. It just consumes time, right? The creative structure really works to alleviate both.
Because we always think that maybe the stress and the adrenaline is a good thing. However, if it needs to be controlled in my mind. There's a point where it becomes too much and then you're pushing, and the thing with the universe from what I've learned is you want to invite. And I tend to push sometimes, I must admit, because I'm an action kind of person. So it's good to be reminded that there's this creative process that we can look at, we can adopt it directly or massage it, get it to where it works for us individually. Is that right?
Definitely, definitely.
Beautiful.
I
Thanks for
I
sharing that.
deal with overwhelm all the time with people. That is something that computers seem to cause constantly. There's always more to it, and helping people get past that is a real big step of what I do. So I
Yeah, I
don't know.
imagine that a lot of individuals consider computers to be really complex, right? And there's sort of a lot of unknowns
Yes.
that they may or may not run into depending on what they're working on, what they're trying to do. But yeah, with your solutions, Jeremy, that takes a lot of that concern away because you have that understanding and you can provide them the if you will, the safety net to make sure they get through.
Interesting, though. I think you could apply the creative process to even getting into a technology kind of scenario.
I would say so. I definitely,
You know,
and
if you
really
if we want to be creative with the creative.
yeah. And the key too with tech, especially nowadays, right? I remember seeing a diagram. I think they call it a cloud
Mm.
of the number of solutions to just one simple problem. And I don't recall exactly if it was some kind of CRM or something like that, but it was tens of thousands of different software options.
Yep.
And I couldn't imagine being in front of this cloud and having to make a choice, right? So this is where having somebody like Jeremy to work with is so powerful, right? Because with your support, Jeremy, you've already gone through the cloud. You're already familiar with sort of what makes all these solutions tick and how to pick the best one for the specific individual, the specific business that you're looking at.
Yeah. Exactly.
Beautiful. So what's the third step? I'm really getting anxious to find out what that is.
The third step is potentially the most powerful, right? Because if you think of it, we've been taking a stepwise approach, right? First, reaching a place of calmness, which what the outcome of having calmness within is inner peace within is that it opens up all the possibilities. Nothing is closed off when we find that place, right? And then we've made a specific choice, which, to your point, Michelle, once that choice has been made, then that's sort of like an invitation to the universe to provide it, right? And then we begin to find ourselves aligned with that choice, which becomes a purpose for us, right? Now, the third and perhaps the most powerful element is what happens at the end. And really, in order to properly introduce this, I need to add a little bit of content with regard to how the mind is built, right? And if you think of it this way, if you think really hard about any topic, usually all you'll do is get a headache, right? Not a whole lot happens, right? But if you notice what happens when you simply make a decision, how suddenly things just seem to start lining up for it, right? You start noticing things differently. Things start to show up in your environment that relate to that decision. Perhaps you've decided Gonzalo was on. He's a career expert, right?
Right.
And helps folks find their ideal, their dream job, their dream position, or related business, and just in a way, just making that choice opens up opportunities. It's really funny how this works, right? We're making the choice and staying with it, where we're not getting wishy-washy, but now we've made a decision on a specific opportunity we are not seeking but choosing for ourselves. Different people cross our path, right? And information that's already in our field suddenly becomes visible to us, right? We begin focusing more naturally on it, and to your point that you made earlier, Michele, we begin attracting what we need to get there, to get that result, right? To find that, to have that job appear, and then to take the steps necessary to secure the offer and actually reach the first day and to succeed as well, right? And it's interesting how things line up once we made the choice, once we've invited the universe, and now to strengthen that invitation. The third technique, the third item I'd like to offer is visualization. And although that sounds really simple, what I want to clarify there is that the subconscious mind, which is really doing a lot of the work, to bring all of these things into our live experience, way more than just our thoughts are doing. The subconscious mind, though, is not picky about whether things are real or whether they're not real, right? Or imagined, right? And this is where the power of imagination comes in. So visualization might seem like a bit, a bit woo-woo, right? But it's really no different. And if you ask CEOs, right, they do this all the time. Before they make their changes, they have built and developed and sat with a very clear vision of what they intend to see going forward for the business. They can see the structure of the sales team, right? They can see plants moving from place to place. They can see product lines being changed. They can see evolutions being developed as the designs that they're currently responsible for are improving, right? They can see new people in new positions that are aligned with different capabilities to achieve what they need, right? And this is all about seeing, right? But this is before those people are in place and before those products are developed, but they already see it. And that's what I'm speaking to is the visualization. So again, step one is to achieve a place of calmness where we can really begin to work. Step two is to establish a creative structure and actually make the choice of which way we're going. And now step three that I'm sharing now is to step into that place where it's done, where everything's accomplished, where we've achieved everything we intended to achieve and potentially even more, right? And begin to build that picture, right? And begin to build it in great detail. So that involves us putting ourselves in the place and the space where we see, hear, feel what that feels like, what that looks like, what that sounds like, to be accomplished. And let's go back to Gonzalo there for a second, right? That's his client actually visualizing, being in the dream job, right? Being on site at the office or being out in the field if it's a field job, and doing the thing, right? And getting success and actually as well being rewarded financially for that, right? And all of those elements of what that will feel like when they achieve it, they can bring into their conscious field now through a visualization process. And perhaps I wonder if I might just tap Jeremy and just ask for a scenario that we could visualize right now.
Scenario. Let me think. Where someone's stressed, or
No, a scenario of something that perhaps one of your clients wants to achieve.
oh, what they want to achieve. A good scenario is someone who wants to get past uh, their fear of computers. The constant effect that I run across is people who are trying to build their business and be successful at it, but they get stuck on these little technical hitch. they don't know how to do a domain, for example, but they want a website. So their scenario would be they want a beautiful website where everybody's going to come visit and buy all their stuff. You know, does that
Perfect.
make
Yeah, I
sense?
would like one too, please.
And one of that just does it to scale, right?
Right.
Yes, definitely. Well, let's go there, right? That's actually a relatively simple one.
And then we see the products leaving the warehouse.
Exactly. Yeah. So maybe we could take a yeah, this will be fun, right? We can visualize a drop shipping business, right? So that this
Yeah.
individual is doing everything online and they're not having to touch any products at all themselves, right? And maybe it's even an information product and it's not even physical, right? It's an ebook,
A membership
right?
course.
Or yeah, and yeah, let's do okay. Perfect. Let's do a membership course. And to visualize that, we would simply go to the end, right? And if we can close our eyes for just a moment, I don't know if this is legal to do on the
Sure.
show here, but
Yeah, we
as
can do
long
that.
as nobody's driving, we can do this, right? And simply close our eyes and let's go there, right? Let's go. And before we even think about the tech, and I think Jeremy, this will be informative for perhaps for your clients where they're thinking about the tech. How am I going to get this membership site built? Who's going to build it for me? How much is it going to cost me? How is it going to interface with my landing page that I had built by somebody else before, and so on and so forth. And even as I articulate those questions, I'm starting to feel stressed myself, right? And I think a lot of people do. But let's go beyond that to the place where the membership site's already operating, right? And as we take a deep breath in and then release it nicely and easily, we're in the membership portal. And we're actually looking at the modules that are all there. They're perfect. The videos are in place. All of the download links are ready. The materials are perfectly aligned. And the clients are in there and they're getting results. And so not only can we see them in the membership interacting with the content, but we can see them taking the content and using it, and they're applying it to their own situations, personally, professionally, and they're out there sharing what they do with whatever the solution is that your client Jeremy is providing for them through the membership.
Mm-hmm.
And just envision those clients succeeding and actually see the success they're producing for whoever it is they're interacting with, and the benefits they're getting, especially financially, from interacting with this membership that's already built. A portal it's up all the time. All of the links are working. The videos are working. There's plenty of capacity. And just allow all the details to get really crisp and sharp. And we can start to see what the backdrop looks like, what the layout looks like. And in a way, our subconscious mind is already aligning all of the pieces and the parts to what they should be for this membership, for this particular client to be arranged successfully so their clients are benefited. And as we stay focused on this end result, the fear is disappearing. And really what we've done here is we've made a choice that it's all working out. All the pieces are working out. We have what we need.
24/7.
Yeah, it's working out.
Mm-hmm.
And just sitting there and being there and stepping beyond that chaotic how to do, right? And I need to do it all myself. And whatever paradigms and thoughts we had at the beginning, or Jeremy, your clients perhaps are having before they speak with you, well, they've stepped beyond those now, right? And now they're visualizing the outcome. And the more clearly they can visualize that, again, when we talk about inviting the universe to fill in the gaps, well, there's definitely a strong invitation the more we practice that visualization. And it's amazing how that will bring alignment. And suddenly Jeremy Gaul pops up and says, "Yeah, I got the solution for you here, and let's make a deal and get this set up for you in however long it takes Jeremy to set up, which I think is not very long, right?" And so on and so forth until all of the pieces, which from the client's point of view could be treated as just one big piece all put together. where everything is seamless, it's all aligned. And somehow, as I'm talking about this, it feels natural and normal, right? Which is the product of visualization. And when we're in that place, the hows and the who's that are going to get us there come much more easily
And
than
the
they do when we're worried
synchronicity.
about the tech.
Yeah, the synchronicities that will pop up, especially if you are able to maintain that. I talk about it being the positivity quotient, being able to be totally positive as much as you can during the day, not just when you're doing affirmations. And if you can keep your energy up and you do the visualization, because I also talk about this as well, it is powerful. And I know it works because why? I did it when I was going after that job that got me that position as a quality manager, putting together, setting up the ISO 9002 quality management system back in the 90s, 1994 actually. And it worked. I saw
Wow,
it. I walked, I saw the building. I did everything. I saw pictures, looked up the pictures of the people, did the whole thing. I said, this is my job, and I felt it. And it took months, but I got it. Patience is a virtue, right?
definitely, definitely. Well,
But
that's an
wasn't
amazing
that
accomplishment.
painful?
And if I recall some elements of that story, it wasn't like things were set up for you to immediately succeed at the front end, right?
Nothing was set up. It was all men. And they had nothing set up. They had some procedures, but nothing, no training policy, no mission, no vision, no values. I mean, they had nothing really set up except they had the business going, right? And they wanted to get it all together, neatly packaged into a system. And I wasn't an engineer. I didn't have an experience with ISO. I just read the book and I said, I can do that. It's simple. And I just put it out there. I wrote the letter. I got the interview. I won the job over an engineer, a young engineer. And the only question I had to answer was, you wear a suit, you come in high heels. How are you going to work with the guys in the field? And I said, simple. Jeans, hard hat, steel-toed boots. I'll shake your hand. If it's dirty, it doesn't matter as long as you do a good job. You're it. I respect those who do a good job and put their hearts and minds into what they're doing. But so powerful three things that you've shared today, DK, the procrastination, getting over that, having the calmness, doing that creative structure. The creative structure, I really like it. I can feel that sense of everything coming together, and then the visualization just pulls you right there and gets you through that overwhelm piece. It really does work, guys. It really does work. We're here to help you out there who are struggling or who are having a hard time or thinking there's nothing out there. Instead of thinking of things as problems, look at it as a challenge. That's another key. Look at it as a challenge. How can I best this? What can I do? How can I get this? If this is it really what I want? And if it is what I want, how do I get to it? If I really want to get over tech, do I really want to? Well, then stop telling yourself that tech is so hard. Right? Change how you're framing things is a big thing. And so in the honor of time, let's talk about sparkle. Who wants a sparkle?
Yes, please.
And I know Gonzalo is here, so I guess the question is, do you want a sparkle too?
I want to sparkle every day, and I want to give sparkle to others.
So as special guest on the show, DK, you have the question is there an intention you have that you would like to sparkle? And let me explain. Sparkle is that thing that just adds life, it adds brightness, it adds a little fun and flexibility, it adds energy of lightness, of joy to what it is we're putting out there. And I don't know if anybody else wants to put a description on sparkle.
Well, I think rather than describe it, let's experience it.
Okay, so your intention. Anybody want to put an intention?
I
I'll
will
give
put
you that choice first, Deacon, and then anybody else who wants to actually vocalize it, you're welcome to do that too, so that everybody else can think of their own, you know?
awesome. I will place an intention of financial abundance.
Ah,
Mm, I like
money.
that.
Okay, money coming in, visualizing now.
Money coming in. That's right.
Okay. And Jeremy, anything to add?
Uh, simple solutions to complex problems.
Or no problems?
No problems would be even better, but what do I do then?
Solutions that scale.
Yeah.
Solutions at
That's a
scale.
challenge, right? Solutions that scale. There are no problems, but there's just time now to come up with solutions that help scale and get your brilliance, your gifts out to the world in beautiful, beautiful, how is the word? Abundance is another way of saying, just abundantly being able to produce gifts to share
Right.
that people can purchase or can utilize or can use to fulfill their dreams. Yes? And then Gonzalo, you said you take Sparkle any day.
Yeah, need it. My sparkle is really, my dream is to empower those who feel disempowered and also to share happiness because life is a beautiful journey. It doesn't have to be harder than it has to be.
Okay, so is your intention then to help more, to empower more people?
Mhm.
Is that an intention or I don't want to put words into your mouth.
Yes, it is, especially those that feel disempowered. I really want to show them that they have more power, just kind of like DK said. They have more power than they think they do. They've just given it up.
Very nice. Okay. Well, let's see. I'm just trying to see if I can do something. Okay, so let's get centered, everybody who wants to participate, whether it's live or not. So just, if you wish, close your eyes and just breathe in deeply and then imagine this beautiful stream of light from the heavens coming through to the top of your head, the crown chakra, and just see and feel, if you will, this beautiful flow of cosmic light energy coming from the heavens, and then allow it into your body. Allow it to go every which way it wants to go, into all the nooks and crannies. Breathe in all the goodness, all the blessings, all the love, all the nourishment, all the wisdom of the heavens. Allow it to go everywhere it needs to go. And then as you breathe out, allow anything that isn't serving you to leave through the window, through the doors, through the cord at the bottom of your foot, going to your own very special crystal at the center of the earth. And then allow that crystal to cleanse that energy, purify it, add Mother Earth healing, nurturing, grounding, nourishing energy to it. And then when that energy is all beautifully purified, cleansed, and energized, allow that energy to come back up through the other cord at the bottom of your foot, come up to join this beautiful cosmic energy from the heavens, which is already circulating in and through and about and within and all around you. Just allow it all to flow. And then just feel that energy. And then allow everything to come into play. Just breathe in all the goodness. Breathe out all the things that are not serving you. And just feel that energy. And then I'm going to just send some energy to you to energize you in your root chakra, which is right where your navel is. Just allow that energy to bring you all that grounding, the strength to do, the determination, the fortitude, the wisdom that is there for you. Just allow. Just see yourself, because I know that's what you want to do. See yourself helping so many other people who you're touching, who are in your tribe, your circle, your world. Just allow yourself to connect with your highest knowing, with universe, grounded in your love, your integrity, your wisdom, your values, aligned in your heart, to bring into everything fruition all the things that you wish, so you can help the world to be a better place and help those who come to you for your wisdom, your guidance, and your gifts. Inside, outside, all within. And just allow any doubts, any fears, any regrets, any sorrows, anything that is not of highest good for you, to just leave and just allow yourself to forgive yourself, especially forgive others, because all of the lessons are with you. Don't forget, forgive. Allow that, all those memories, those emotions, the feelings that are not serving you, to leave through the window, through the door, through the cord at the bottom of your feet. Just allow yourself to forgive yourself, because that's the most difficult thing to do. And allow yourself to forgive others. However, remember, don't forget, because the remembering is the wisdom that's left to you to keep you safe. Okay, how's that? Just whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and feel where you're at.
Feeling good.
So how was that?
I felt like the experience gave me an opportunity to surface, some things that were kind of riding underneath, and take the opportunity to let those free and dissipate them.
So so if I understand what you're trying to say, is it opened up some thoughts or concepts that were sort of underneath, and it brought to the surface. So now you have some ideas on what you're going to be bringing out or working with in the near future.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, some things that really weren't. I just put it on the table. Things that weren't serving me were coming to the surface, and I had the opportunity just to let them release, and as you said, allow them to be cleansed and if you will, transformed.
Oh, very nice. Thanks for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling in your headspace?
My headspace is feeling clear. Yeah, everything from here down is feeling quite good. And I found I was able to just reach, like before, I was able to reach that space that's just totally clear. No thoughts in that space, nothing conflicting.
So you have a very hectic schedule. You told me coming on the show this evening that you have been traveling like for a month, and that you're just you were feeling kind of needing to find that, how did you put it, center?
Yeah, I think so.
or
Yeah.
or percolate or readjust coming back in. Now that was your feeling before, just before the show coming on tonight.
Yeah.
Where are you there right now, thinking about where you were before and now being here right this minute?
Yeah. So thinking about my state of mind before I got here, I literally, drove up to to my house and rolled out of the car and came online, right? Pulled my computer out, got it booted up, and ran into it. And that was the energy I brought, was that kind of running. And right now, I'm just happy to be here.
So when you came on, were there a lot of thoughts in the, even if it's not right there, they're just kind of percolating on the sidelines, right?
Yes,
I've
definitely.
been there. So, okay.
Definitely.
And now where are they? What's going on?
Now I don't even know if they're even still there. I kind of think maybe they're not.
Okay, how often do you get to this space of Zen in your mind?
I would say this post sparkle is clearer than I'm normally able to reach. I would say, yeah, because I can do pretty well on the conscious mind, and I can get close. That's peripheral thoughts that you're talking about.
Hmm.
Usually require a little bit more work to release. But yeah, right now I'm there. I'm clear.
Nice. Thanks for sharing that. Because Jeremy, what about you?
Yeah, I'm feeling nice and clear. I got a lot of work to do, so it's gonna help me focus quite a bit.
Yeah, so there's this. So this is something that I notice with mostly everyone I work who gets sparkle. There's this Zen state of, wow, nothing going on up here. There's nothing, like not a thought. It's just like you could drop a pin and hear it, because there's nothing. There's no thought that's crossing your mind right now. It's just clear. And then if you want to think, but you're going, do I really want to think right now? It's this thing about, I'm just enjoying this space. Do I really want to start working right now, or do I just want to be here for a few more minutes?
I think I'd
Gonzalo,
like to be here for just a few more minutes. Yeah.
so Gonzalo, thoughts?
Yeah, for me, oftentimes my mind's always going.
Yeah.
It's hard to stop it, and I appreciate the quietness. Where I could really focus deep and not focus on anything, but just the quiet to allow me to breathe. Because sometimes I feel like I can't breathe, or I need to breathe faster so I can stay productive. And so the calmness really helps me like refocus my priorities, refocus my intentions, clarify my goals, and then also push things that don't really, like DK said, don't really do me any good. Like push them out of the way and acknowledge that they're not doing me any good. So let go.
So you're saying the same thing. You're experiencing this quietness in your mind right now. Very nice. Well, thanks for sharing that, fellows, because what if you could get that on a regular basis through a subscription service? That
Sounds interesting.
that thought just came to me, because I'm thinking of ways to help people. And what if there was a cost-effective way, because it's a group thing, it's a group session, it works over the internet, it can be from your car, on the phone, you just tap into me being on the line at the same time, and you just get that 5 minutes, because we didn't take that much time on it, right? It was
I
what?
feel like it was about 5 minutes. Yeah, maybe
Probably
just
was
slightly
about
more.
5, 10, between 5 and 10. I didn't really watch
Yeah.
it. But if you could just tune up like that, I don't know, I mean, do I really want to do this every day with everybody? I don't know. But if there was something of some, a weekly or something, would that be useful? And would people be willing to invest in that, is a question, right? So maybe you can think about that, and then we can We can talk about it later, but that's kind of what just came to me in the moment,
Excellent.
you know. So questions, any questions for DK, anyone, before we on his process, on what he shared today? No?
No questions.
No questions. He did such a you really did a nice job
It was
explaining.
very well put.
Yeah, the examples were just excellent, you know. I mean, it took me right back to my corporate days. You know?
I hope you didn't mind the trip too much.
No, not at all. I had a presentation many years ago before I had my firstborn, and I was in a presentation. I was doing the present, you know, as a presenter, and that night I went into labor, and they're going, "Did we do something wrong?"
It's time to deliver the baby. That's good.
Because I was telling my managers that they had to give up inventory, and they were not happy about it. And I was sticking to my guns. But anyway, that was that was a long time ago. Lots of fun though. Lots of fun. But it's that procrastination, getting hold of that overwhelm, the stress of it all, so you can actually, you know, enjoy your family time and get that balance in. That's a challenge. And the thing about wearing the mask, I used to wear a mask a lot before I got into so much into the, you know, energy kind of that place, because I was also very skeptical. I was, get away from me, you know, like no woo-woo stuff here, you know, go somewhere else. So but it is very powerful stuff, being able to become more self-aware, tune into your own power, meaning start feeling, allowing yourself to feel, because we shut ourselves off when we get so mental. That's where we are all the time. We're not in corporate. We're not used to dropping to the heart because we're told we have to analyze everything. We have to figure it out. But the gut feelings, the intuition, is how a lot of people become successful, because they follow their gut, they follow their intuition, they follow their heart, because the heart is the thing that connects us to who we are, and it connects us to our loved ones all over the world, believe it or not. The heart is how somebody will say, "I was thinking of you. How come you just phoned me out of the blue?" Because you felt that person with a love thinking about you. Because if we talk about quantum physics, the heart has a torsion field that is so powerful. There's no other organ as strong as that heart. And the heart goes, that torsion field goes faster than the speed of light. That's why that person can call you back from the other side of the world, just because you had that thought. You know? Pretty mind-boggling. You may not believe me, so you can research it.
It's amazing how well that works. And that's what allows us to meet really virtually like this, right? And have a heartfelt experience as if we were in the center.
Right, because it goes through the others. It doesn't matter that the screen, we're seeing each other on a screen. I'm working, and I have Pam actually, who says she sees the energy. You know, but the thing is, we're all connected through the heart.
Absolutely.
And that's a beautiful thing. And who I hope to help are those people who really want to help other people. They're kind. They love that feeling of fulfillment when someone else gets a benefit from interacting with them. You know, and that's the thing that's why I started this show. To be able to help those who need a little help somewhere along the way.
And really, from that point of view, don't we all?
Yeah, that's right. We all have that thing where Maslow talks about self-actualization. Well, there's also self-transcendence, which is one step up not just fulfilling yourself, but then now thinking, how can I serve those in the world?
Exactly.
And I think
Exactly.
that's where we're at.
Definitely.
So,
And speaking of service, okay, sure. Yeah, and what I was saying, Michelle, is that if it would benefit your audience, I would like to offer an opportunity, a very unique opportunity, to really take what we've discussed here in relation to essentially solving overwhelm and solving procrastination, through the process that I offer through the Center of Calmness. And I'd like to offer a 4-part series where we'll take the concepts that we discussed here and we'll take them deep, and we'll take them specifically, for those that are willing to invest the time and a very, very small financial consideration. We'll go deep on their specific topics and bring them to a place where they're aligned for success. And we'll take these 3 things that we taught here, and we'll go through and coach them specifically on those, and then go deep on some additional details, some tools and resources, and really equip them to take this practice on and own it for themselves. And so I just like to offer that if it would benefit your audience, Michelle.
yes, that would be wonderful. And we put it under the guest, like they'll find that offer. If they search for your name under the guest tab on the website, they will find that offer. And what is the investment for this 4-module series?
I am actually thinking of an investment of 97 for this.
Oh,
And
wow.
it is for 90-minute modules,
Mhm.
plus a set of bonus, if you will, bonus resources, and of course, as you know, it's our custom and our nature to just continue to stack on bonuses upon bonuses until the thing's finished. So they will walk away with a complete toolkit to take the practices that we've only introduced today and really own it for themselves, and be able to apply these on a daily basis, these techniques on a daily basis, to drive the success that they really desire and deserve for themselves. And this is just my way of paying it forward.
Oh, that's great. So you'll be covering calmness, the creative structure, and visualization, so that they can get to creating the results they want in their life and
Absolutely.
their business, in their professional lives too.
Absolutely. We're going to take it deep and we're going to make it specific. So it's not just a general principle or like attending a course. We're gonna apply coaching principles to
Wow.
line this up so that they are lined up to move forward.
Mhm.
Very nice. So we'll get that up on the website in short order. And thank you so much for joining us on the Sparkle Experience show. It has been a pleasure to have you here, DK. So much fun. I could feel the space you led us through with the visualizations and your instructions. And Jeremy, anything to add?
No, really great to have you on here, DK. I think that your offer is very generous, and I'm considering it myself.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you, Jeremy. Also nice to see you as well, Catherine. And we'll catch up with y'all again very soon.
Okay, wonderful. So guess what? We're gonna hold on one sec because we got everything changed up again. So just give me one sec as I fix the screen. I don't know how Joel fixes this. Do you?
He
It
has
doesn't
everything
look
in a
as
set process, and he makes sure that they're all on different screens.
Does
So
what?
he uses like 4 different screens.
Yeah, but there's must be a way to pin everybody so you're not like as soon as somebody comes on, it messes up the whole thing.
There's a setting on there to have all the gallery in a separate window, and that helps. That's what he uses, and it helps prevent everything from moving around. Let me see.
Everything from moving around because this would be useful. Where's DK? I have to find you because we had it perfectly set up before.
Michelle, it doesn't look any different to
No,
me.
because I'm doing it in the back office.
Yeah, she's using a different.
I'm using a different window actually right now, but I'm coming.
Well, I gotta run. I'm gonna be late for
Okay,
someplace I gotta
just
get
give
to.
1 minute and Okay, so let's do this. So thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure, DK. So glad you could make it. And Jeremy, thanks for coming on too as well.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you very much.
I think I got a lot out of this one. So
Yes, it was a wonderful episode. Thank you so much. Come again the third Wednesday of the month.
do you know the date for that?
What's that?
You have the date for that already? That's the 21st, I think, right?
Yes. Yes, that would be correct. So until
5 Pacific, 21st.
yeah. All right, until the next time. And DK, you'll be on again, right? To share what the sparkle actually did over time.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, everybody. I got to run. Thank you for everything. DK, Catherine, it was great to see you.